Hey everybody, this is John Walker with the Walker Group. This is going to be our seller series number 3 video. So people talk about the money that you have to come out of pocket with for buying a home, but we wanted to help out our sellers, as we've been saying. So what do you have to come out of pocket for whenever you sell a home? There's a few things, and I'm just going to be speaking in terms of a average transaction. Of course, each transaction is a little different and you can negotiate different things, but I'm just going to be speaking in terms of what is quote unquote normal. So one is the septic. Okay, so depending on if you're in the city limits or outside the city limits will depend on if you have to pay for a septic pump out and an inspection. So if you're in the city, you really don't have to worry about anything because you pay your sewer bill and everything's taken care of. Whereas if you live in a rural area, then you might have a septic tank, an advanced treatment system, or something like that. If you have a private septic, is what that's called, then it has to be inspected by the health department and pumped out in some cases, and inspected and signed off on and stuff like that. So every situation is a little different, depends on the type of system, your parish, all that stuff. But generally this is going to run anywhere from about $250 to maybe $500. Now it can get higher. It just depends on the age of your system, if things have to be replaced and fixed. But I would say that a good estimate is somewhere around $250 to $500, and that's only for the people selling houses that are outside the normal community or city septic. So next is your termite. So most sellers pay for a termite inspection to be done to make sure that the house is clean of any termite activity or old activity or anything like that. It's usually only about $75, $75, $80. It depends on the company. There are several around that can be used. But usually the seller takes care of that in a normal transaction. All right, next is going to be the taxes. It kind of goes without saying, but I still wanted to bring it up. Obviously, if you sell a house right now, and we're in August, we'll probably close in September. So in September, you would pay your taxes at closing from January 1st until the closing date, whatever that day is in September. So it's not something you have to write a check for. They're going to take it out of the proceeds, but that is something that will show up on the closing disclosure as an expense to you. But you're going to pay that expense anyway. You're going to pay your property tax for the days that you own the house. So keep that in mind as one of the expenses. Next is going to be a little bit of closing costs. Most closing attorneys call it either a recording fee at the courthouse, or they may call it a courier fee. Basically, they're just going to charge you a little bit to take your documents and go record them at the courthouse, because the clerk of court is going to charge them to record it themselves. So basically they're just moving that expense, to you because it's your house that you're selling. So it's usually not much, $100 maybe, sometimes even less than that, 60, 80, something like that. So lastly is your realtor commissions. So that's kind of the elephant in the room, right? A lot of people will go and they'll try to do for sale by owner, which is, totally fine. Of course, most people are not successful doing that, not because they can't do it, but because you don't have the time. If you have a full-time job and you're trying to sell a house, well, it's a full-time job to sell a house. I mean, that's why, we're all employed as agents. So the realtor commissions, just obviously get in touch with us. Standard is going to be 6%. It really just depends on the situation. Sometimes it can be more than 6%, depending on your location and different things like that. So just let us know if you have questions about any of this. I'm going to recap real quick, but those things are fees that you'll have to take care of as a seller. Again, this is just an average transaction. Is going to be your septic, if that applies, your termite inspection, your taxes are going to be prorated, and then your closing cost as a seller, which is going to be very minimal, and then your realtor commissions. So these are the main things that you'll have to worry about whenever you go to sell your home. Of course, we could get into a whole different ball game as far as negotiations are concerned, but those are the things that you have to be prepared for in most situations. So again, as we always say, we hope this helps, and we're here to help and educate and help people as much as we can. Just send us a message, give us a call, and we'll do everything we can to help you. I hope y'all have a good day. Thanks a lot.